Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Go Down and Focus call. Looks like we have a little bit of a light fall here, Labor Day weekend and all. Last weekend before school up here in Canada. Copy down a minute. All right, there we go. Just on a couple of notes here, as we move into September, we are now moving into high gear, as everybody knows. In general, the summer is anywhere to 20% less in terms of overall volume and sales in any company, just given that it's the summer months and a lot of our part-time seasonal people up at the cottage or at the lake house or on vacation or what have you. It's good to know that Zija, throughout the summer, going from June all the way now to the end of August, has in fact grown as a company. Our whole organization has moved forward. We have grown. And so with all the promotions and other incentives the company put in place, not only did we manage to maintain our current level, but we have in fact expanded. That's great news. Because what that tells us is that as we go into September, October, November, a major growth in network marketing, big months for business building, and we can expect upwards of no less than 20% growth, if not more. And so if you add all that up together, by the end of this year, Zija will hit, we will hit our goal of somewhere we'll be over 200 million. We might hit the 250 million, which would be the goal, and would in fact have us have doubled in size in 2013. So we're on track to do that. There's a lot coming down the pipe. Everybody knows that we're on the last stretch here before convention, that being the Race to Summit events. Events that are lined up and set, and you can take a look at those at the ZJEvents.com website and find out where the next summit event will be. We have a few of them happening here in Canada also. There'll be one here in Toronto on the 26th, another one on the 28th in North Vancouver, and of course events taking place all over the country in a variety of locations. I had done a conference call on Friday that was specific to building towards the summit. We have now surpassed, with 5.5 weeks to go, we have surpassed the total number of registrations and participants at last year's, so we're past that already, with 5.5 weeks to go. It's important to note that 50% of all the registrants of last year came in the last 4 weeks before conference. So in other words, the number of registrants doubled in the last 4 weeks last year before the conference commenced. And so given that we have surpassed the number of registrants of last year in total, and there's still 5 weeks to go, we can expect that this conference will be double the size of last year, and as we all know, last year was a huge success. It was a big event. We will have people flying in from everywhere, from all over North America, yes, and from other parts of the world. Europe, there'll be representation from Europe, Asia, Philippines, Australia, Japan, and a number of people from South America, as well as a few chartered airplanes coming in from Canada. So I expect that this year is going to be a rather spectacular year in Zija International and at our convention. And post-convention, so immediately following the convention, I have a plan to hit 20 cities, and I believe Chris Estes will be part of that. And so the two of us will be hitting cities across North America, and that includes, of course, Canada, leading all the way up to December. So 20 city plus tour in, say, 40 to 45 days. It will be a grueling schedule, but we will do a huge number of events, and that will set us up for 2014. So that's just a quick recap, a quick snapshot on where we are, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. In terms of our own personal organizations and the people that we're working with directly, it is important at this time, given the convention around the corner, that we do everything in our power. And this was the conference call I did with the leaders on Friday. Everything within our power and within our ability to get as many of our teammates to convention. That may include some incentive programs. It may include helping a person. It may include having people share a room wherever that is possible. In some cases, for people that can afford it, that may include helping another person with registration, maybe helping someone with hotel rooms, and in extraordinary cases, for some people, that may include even a plane flight, depending on whether it's a high-level prospect or a professional networker or just somebody who has done so much for one's team that maybe they've earned it. So we want to make sure that we are utilizing all the resources that we have to get as many of not only our teammates but as many guests as we can to this up-and-coming convention. This will be a moment or an event, if you will, that will help advance our businesses, grow our businesses, take us to the next level, just by the intensity of what will take place there. There'll be a number of new announcements and a couple of new focuses. There'll be some new tools, some new products announced, and yes, there'll be many, many breakout trainings at the event. Now this year will be a little bit different. The breakout trainings will not we're not going to have 6 or 7 different rooms or 5 different rooms. We're going to have just 2 major rooms, 2 big rooms, where we'll be hosting trainings for upwards of 1,000 people in each of the 2 rooms. Chris and I will be the MCs of each of those rooms. I will MC one room, Chris will MC another room, and we will have a variety of Black Diamonds training on a variety of subjects. So lots of great stuff coming down the pipe, and I've just given you kind of a thumbnail sketch. Yes, there are considerably more details associated with what's coming to convention. So my suggestion in these last weeks is to intensify our focus in terms of building towards convention. And what that looks like is that everything that we're doing now, all new sponsorship, all new recruitment, team calls, all events that are taking place, whether they be conference calls or live events, summit events, based to summit events, we should focus our energies on making sure we have the maximum number of people invited to these events, to these conference calls, and so forth, within our team, and yes, guests that people have. If you know people in different locations, invite them. I'm inviting people from everywhere, not only from my local area, but there are some people who are actually, I'm not suggesting everybody can do this, but there's always occasions where it is possible. I have people flying in from Europe. Some of them are distributors, some of them are looking at Egypt International in 2014 for Europe. People coming in from Malaysia, Thailand, and a number of other countries. in from South America. I've got a guy flying up from Peru. And so with all of that, we can expect that it's really going to be an international event, an event that we have not yet seen in Zija. Last year was a spectacular event. And Mr. Larson gave some statistics on the last call that 84% of all people who were at last year's event are still in the business today and registered for this year's convention. That's a pretty amazing statistic when you think about it. In other words, people that attended the event last year have, had enough anchoring, had enough vision, had enough belief instilled in them, had enough confidence, enough learning, enough education, that they stayed in the business. They stayed in the business and are now, a year later, still part of Zija and showing up at this year's event. And so my point is that this next 5 weeks can be life-changing for us should we take full and maximum advantage of this up-and-coming event. And so I like to talk about a 30-day wind sprint. September, October, November is a time where we can propel ourselves forward very, very quickly. It's a time where everybody gets refocused coming out of the holidays. It's a time of reflection for a lot of people. A lot of people now look towards the last quarter of the year. There's a lot of people that look for change. A lot of people that want, start looking at 2014. We're only kind of a 90-day period away. It's 4 months, September, October, November, December, but by the time you get to December, people are already projecting 2014. This is a time where people look at where they are. They reevaluate their job situation. They reevaluate their life situation. And people tend to make new decisions. They're already in the process of making certain resolutions. And therefore, the follow-ups that we do, starting in September, where we start to contact people that we've spoken to in the past. The people that said no before, said call me another time, or maybe we can, speak again in 6 months. These people somehow will end up on board in Zija. Not all of them, but enough of them. There's a number of people that have already come on board this year alone, who were prospective, who were called, who were given product, and so forth. And they chose to come on board this year for a variety of reasons, when in fact, a year or two ago, when they were called, when they were prospected, it was just the wrong time. And they just weren't open. And so everything is changing always. Things are always moving. People's lives and circumstances in their lives are always in motion. They're always changing. And everything is timing, as we all know. We give a person a call at one time, they're not interested. Give them a call at another time, and they're joining our business. And so it's a time now, in these next 30 days, where we can literally press the reset button yet once again. We've talked about this before. Pressing the reset button is not something that we do one time. It's something that we can do over and over again at various times in the evolution and in the growth of our business. We run into all kinds of things. Not everybody is up 100% of the time. I can absolutely assure you of that, and I can tell you that from personal experience. Do I have moments of being in a flat zone. I don't want to say that I'm ever down, but being down for me is kind of not being up, right? So if I'm not in the business building mode, I'm not in the driving mode, I may be in a temporary flat mode. That's where I don't have a lot of new stuff going on. I've had some of that this year. But at the very same time of that going on, there are others who are in a major growth mode. One of the things I do whenever I'm in that mode, I want to kick it up again, is I just simply press the reset button. And what does that mean? Well, that's kind of setting myself up mentally to do another 30-day wind sprint. I don't look at things in blocks of 90 days. I don't look at things in blocks of 6 months. I look at them in blocks of 30 days. One pay period in Zija, 4 1-week cycles. And the reason I do that is that anybody can do anything for 30 days. That is anybody. Everybody. Everybody can do it. Why? 30 days is not a major commitment. It's a short enough time where people can sustain a certain mindset and a certain level of activity, but it's a long enough time for a person to get a desired result, to create a certain amount of momentum or activity in our business. So what I like to do is I kind of pretend that mentally that I've got nothing going on in my business and I'm just getting started. Like my first day, my first week in Zija. Now fortunately, with that mindset comes the fact that I already understand Zija, I understand the product, I know the presentation and so forth, and I simply just create another short list of people. That list can be as short as, 20 people, 30 people, 40, even 50. A quick short list of people, write down those names, and put those people into the funnel, into the process of exposures. Maybe have them watch the new video that's been circulating. Now well over 4,000 views, over 300 shares on Facebook, all of that in less than 3 weeks. It's really probably the most viewed, most prolific video we have right now. That's the opportunity video that I posted on Facebook, right at the very top of One Team Worldwide also. And I get as many people exposed from that short list of people in the shortest period of time. So in the next couple of weeks, I want to have 20 or 30 people going through the process of looking at Zija, being exposed to Zija yet once again. Some of them may be a few of the same people taking a second look, maybe even a third look, right? And others will be brand new people that I've met over this last year, or even over the last couple of years, who I want to re-expose to our business. And simply, by taking this action, and doing this activity, and doing it in an intense fashion in the month of September, so within a 30-day period, or one period, pay period in Zija, I will set myself up in terms of the resetting my business for the month of September, October, and November. That's how it's done. This is not about looking at things in 5-year blocks or 3-year blocks or even an entire year. It's doing small amounts in an intense fashion multiple times. And so this is another one of those moments in time, coming out of the summer, 1 month before convention, to actually a wind sprint. Okay? One quick wind sprint. So, 1 month before convention sets us up for a great convention, and then 1 month after convention with another sprint, 20 cities in 42 days, 45 days, sets us up to push us all the way to the end of the year. And then, of course, the company will have, the Chairman's Club event coming up in the new year and so forth. This is how we grow our business systematically. This is the rhythm of network marketing. It's the rhythm of a network marketing company. It's the rhythm of a large organization. And yes, it is the rhythm of each of our businesses individually, as we are individually advancing our own business in a small way. That's how we do it. So, what I would suggest to everybody, if you are in that mode, you want to advance your business, you press the reset button. Create a new short list of people. I mean, physically write that list down. Don't do it out of your head. Don't do it by just kind of shooting in the dark. Handpick 20 or 30 people who are go-getters, who are positive, who have a large center of influence, who may be open, who were generally receptive, who are close friends of yours, who are people that you would want in your business, who are networkers from other companies or so forth. Put them down on paper and go through an effective follow-up process, which would include viewing of that new video, talking a little bit about some of the talking points of Zija International, and then following up with a 3-way call of some kind with another person. And you'll be quite amazed as to what can happen in a short 30-day period. I mean, this is how lives are changed. This is how businesses explode. Now, in all of this, one of the things that we do, especially for some of our veterans on the phone that have been around a while, is make sure that you're continuing to hone your skills, to sharpen your skills, to do it a little bit better than you did last year or the last time you did a follow-up. How do you do that? Obviously, personal development, continuous training, continuous advancement, growing ourselves, developing ourselves, practicing. We get better and better as we do these things. We don't get worse and worse. We get better and better. And we're always getting better if we're practicing. We're never getting worse. You don't practice something and get worse at it. You practice something and get better at it. And so, any of the various training tools that we have that are available to you will help you in this advancement. There's a number of tools that have been effectively used. I've had a fair bit of feedback on the art of network distribution. There's 11 hours of material there, everything from the invitation to the art of storytelling and every other aspect of network marketing, including setting up rooms and doing presentations and answering objections and so forth. And everything's there. And it's all broken down into 5-minute to 15-minute training segments that can be listened to on your smartphone, through an MP3, on your iPad, on your computer, and so forth. So it's available as a mobile university at any time. So whatever area of training that you're working on, that should be part and parcel of everything that you're doing, so that you're taking your productivity to the next level. Whatever level of success one has, one can always do it a little bit better than they did in the past. So I personally am always working on that for my own business. How do I go as a leader from the level that I'm at to the next level? What do I need to do to advance my own personal growth and my every one of us should be. There's no such thing as arriving at a certain place and I'm the best that I could ever be. Nobody I should ever be in that mindset. And, we know the old saying, right? When we're green, we grow. When we're ripe, we rot. So never become ripe. Always be open to advancing in business. And so this particular Monday, this particular call is one of those moments of reflection. I've taken this weekend and just been kind of kicking back and relaxing, and catching up on all the things that are going on, or that have gone on 2013 in Zija. And it's been a pretty amazing first 3 quarters of the year, no question. As a company, we've grown upwards of, roughly 60 million, maybe not quite 70, but close, somewhere between 60 and 70 million in growth, which is amazing when you think about it. A lot of growth. But nowhere near what I think 2014 will hold. This year was a year of opening a lot of international countries. And there were a lot of growing pains in opening these countries. However, a lot of things are in place now. We just took over the Zango office in Malaysia. Zango, that's been going backwards, shut down their main head office for all of Asia, in Malaysia. That's their home office is in Malaysia. Zija took over that office, so they moved out and we moved in to their office. So all these things are setting us up for 2014 to be maybe our biggest year yet. When I say our biggest year, I don't mean in sales, I mean in growth. I mean us, again, going from a $200 million company now to a $400 million company in 2014. And that's a time where, those of us that are silvers or golds, maybe it's taken us a long time to get there, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. It doesn't matter. Some people get there in a month, some people get there in a year, some get there in 2 years. So what? But that's a time where all of a sudden, in 2014, we can go from a gold to a diamond, or diamond to a triple diamond, or so forth. We can grow a lot faster just on growth, just on the fact that the company is growing and we're positioned well. So I'm committed to that. You will see in the next 90 days, myself and both Chris Estes increasing our level of activity dramatically. And so I plan on a major push between now and the end of the year to dramatically move things into high gear and to assist everybody in the process of that. So looking forward to seeing each and every one of you at the convention. Again, be sure to inspire your teams, help your teams come to convention, whatever it takes, get them there. They won't, it's just an event that will be life-changing for them, not only for their business, but for every other aspect of their being that will affect, the rest of their lives quite possibly. So let's do one last hard push over these next 30 days, and let's see what kind of numbers we can have there from our own team. I will be doing the Millionaires in Training call tonight. We'll probably have, if I can get a hold of enough people, we'll have a number of people on tonight's call, all talking about what's happened for them as a result of the convention, but also what they're doing to get their teams inspired and out to the convention. For those of you in Utah, Sherelle and a couple of others, you guys have that little bit of an advantage of being right there time to load up your cars, just be a, just go be a taxi. Pick everybody up and go take them for a tour at the office. Take them to the office. Take them to the manufacturing. Boy, I tell you, if I lived there, I would have a nonstop. I mean, everybody that everybody that literally can breathe. I would just take them and go give them the vision. It's amazing how many people live in Utah. They know that multi-level is big there. They're aware of it. But how many of them have actually ever had a chance to go for a tour through one of these companies? Right? Not the fact that one of their friends works at one, or they heard of one, or they've used a product from one, or they're invited to a meeting of one. But how many of them have actually had a chance to actually go through and visit one of these companies? And the answer is probably not that many. So that's a great benefit to take advantage of, is the fact that we're close by. So take advantage. Leverage these last 30 days, and we'll all see you at convention. We'll catch you on the MIT call tonight. Any announcements from the field? Any events coming up, or anything else that somebody wants to weigh in on? Go ahead if you're on the moderator line. All right. No announcements. We're all good. Have a great Labor Day Monday here, and a great week this week in CJ International. Thanks for all that you do, everybody. Lines are open.
Thanks, David. Thank you, Larry in Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks, David.